Hi everybody, my name is Memory. I'm a hoofstock keeper here at the Houston Zoo, and thank you guys so much for joining us for our Facebook Live. We're going to be introducing you guys to our capybara pups. So for now, we're just going to sit tight for a couple of minutes and let a couple more people tune in, and then feel free to comment any questions, and we'll try to get to those as we are doing our Facebook Live. All right, so again, guys, welcome back. My name is Memory. I'm a hoofstock keeper here at the Houston Zoo, and today we're actually going to be talking about these cuties that are right in front of us. These are our capybara pups. So about a month ago, we had one of our female capybaras named Poppy give birth. She is a first-time mom, and she surprised us and she gave us 5 capybara pups overnight. So we've got 4 of them right now. But these guys are all pastry-themed names. So we have Biscuit and Bagel and Cannoli, Croissant, and Strudel. So if you notice, we have a couple of patches sort of shaved in various areas, and that's just because when we had to catch them up for their very first vet exams to make sure everything was okay, we couldn't identify them at the time because they all look alike. So we just sort of shaved a couple spots here and there just so we could kind of identify them a little bit easier. That way we can kind of keep track and make sure everybody's nursing properly and whatnot. So you'll see that right now what they're eating is corn on the cob. This is a capybara's favorite treat. And it's definitely, we've got 4 of them right here. And Cannoli is off on her own. So she is a little bit more of an independent girl. But the 4 that we have here, they're definitely enjoying their corn. So corn is just sort of a favorite treat for these guys. Normally what we give them is a biscuit and rodent block diet. And they also like to eat alfalfa and coastal hay as well. But capybaras, they do, when they're born, they are born in what we call they're precocial animals, which means that they come out very well developed. So these guys in particular, they came out, they were walking within minutes after birth. They were actually eating solids at day 2. So even though they do like to eat their solids, especially their corn and carrots and apples, they are going to be nursing from mom Poppy for about 4 months, but this is just kind of sort of a bonus sweet treat. And don't forget to comment any questions, and we can answer those as we go. Now, you'll notice that these guys are, like I said, they all look very similar, but they do all have their own individual personalities. So this one, the farthest one to your left, his name is Biscuit. Biscuit's kind of the fearless one. He comes over immediately as we sit down to check out to see what kind of food we have. He's also the one to kind of investigate new situations. So he'll sort of, especially shoelaces is what we've discovered. He likes going after shoes. But, you know, even though they are very cute and very, they look very cuddly and stuff, they are still very skittish animals, so we do always have to work with them with some caution, and we do always respect their space. So if they don't want us in here, we won't be in here, but more often than not, if we have snacks, they're totally fine coming right over, which I might need some more snacks. Yeah, we'll save this. I'll try some lettuce. Let's see if they'll eat the lettuce. Now that they've had the good stuff, they might not go for the lettuce. But these guys are herbivores. So like I said earlier, they do like plants and fruits and veggies. Close up. And they might come check out the camera. That's okay. But you'll notice here that we've got the whole group. They are very social. Capybara social hierarchy is, and also I should say before we go any further, they are siblings. So just like any siblings, there will be little tiffs and squabbles over food, and that's okay. These guys, mom kind of keeps track of them so they never get into too bad of fights. And it's also very important for them to kind of develop those play skills. So we might even see some of them play, or after the food's gone, they might go swim. It is a little bit warmer today. So these guys are semi-aquatic animals, and if you notice, they have their ears, their eyes, and their nostrils all on the tops of their heads. So if they were to get scared of any kind of predator or whatnot, they could go run into the water and just poke their little eyes out real fast to check to see where the predators are at. Okay, so America asks, are there any encounters planned? So as of right now, we don't have any animal encounters, or another word for those are tours. We don't have any of those planned for these guys just yet. Like I said, this particular bunch of capybaras, they're a little bit more skittish, so we're always kind of a little bit more cautious and respectful of their personal space, especially Poppy over here. Poppy came to us from another facility, and she, everything was very new. She was by herself, so she was pretty skittish for a while, but I'm very proud of her. She's definitely being very brave right now and coming right over. So go Poppy. We love Poppy. But like I was saying earlier, these guys are very social, and if you see I'm scratching one of them right now, you'll see on a lot of videos about how capybaras love to be scratched, but like I said, it's just the capybara's own personal choice and independent personality. They are very social animals, so they can be found in groups of anywhere from 10 capybaras all the way up to 50, sometimes even 80 individuals in a group out in South America. Here in our family group here is 7, so we have Mom, Poppy, Dad, Rio is kind of sitting over off by himself, getting some alone time, and then we've got our 5 pups here. Hello, 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 hello. You guys are so cute. But one of the things that we do like to do as well is training. So doing this sort of tactile work is also very good for that. We also got a question of how many capybaras do we have? So currently in this group, we have 7 capybaras. We do have another group that we rotate out into the bigger yard. Those ones were born last year, Bruno, Peppa, and Julieta. Those were our Disney Encanto family that we had born throughout the year last year. So these guys, though, we can't actually physically put them together to have one massive group of 10 capybaras, just because their social hierarchy is very different and complex too. So, adult female capybaras don't do well together if they're not born and raised together. They're kind of, honestly, these guys are the largest living rodent, but their closest living relative are guinea pigs, and guinea pigs kind of are the same way whenever it comes to their social structure. Now, as far as how big are they and how big can they get, the little ones that we currently have, when they were born, they only weighed about 2 to 3 pounds. I think one of them was like reaching the 4-pound mark because he was a little chunky. But currently, so they're about a month old now. They each weigh anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds. And these guys, whenever they're fully grown at about 2 years old, they can be weighing at about 80 to 100 pounds. So they've got a lot of growing up to do. They do come out really small, but like I said, they do also come out really well developed. So they came out and were essentially walking within 5 to 10 minutes and following Mom around and probably going and bothering Dad for a bit. Because Rio is actually a very good daddy capybara, so we really enjoy having him with us. So one of our questions that we just got was, what do you love about working with capybaras? So this right here, which also I forgot to introduce my friend Heather here. Heather is out here to kind of help me distract these guys, because distracting 5, possibly 6 and 7 capybaras is a lot of work, and it's very hard work, obviously. But capybaras are much more intelligent than I think we give them credit for. They do pick up on behaviors very fast, so it makes training them a lot of fun. And they're also just really cute. And sometimes, like I said, depending on the individual, they really like that attention and that tactile, and they'll come right over for scratches. So if you're just having kind of a day where you just need a little bit of break, it's always fun to come out here and take a break with these guys. That being said, as cute as capybaras are, we do still work with them in a lot of caution. Close up. We do still work with these guys with a lot of caution because, like I said, they are rodents, so they do have those very large incisors, and they could bite and cause some pretty significant damage. So we do always work with a lot of caution around them. And I would not recommend these guys as pets, because even though they are very cute, they do cause a lot of damage. They love chewing on trees and wood structures, because rodent teeth, they do grow continuously throughout their lives, so they actually need to gnaw on harder objects to kind of wear those teeth down so that they don't get overgrown. I know. Now, if you look at their feet as well, you'll notice that their feet have some slight webs here in between the toes, and so that webbing is what helps them make them very good swimmers. So these guys swim very, very quickly, and they can actually hold their breaths up to 5 minutes underwater. So when they get scared from predators, or if they kind of just want to lounge around in the pool a bit, they'll go run into the pool and swim around for a long time. And like I said, if they need to just sort of survey what's going on above the water surface, they'll just kind of pop that top of their head out of the water just to kind of see what's going on around there. But on really hot days, these guys can all be found lounging in the shallow end of the pool. So Waylon asks, what is their diet? That's a really good question. So these guys are what we call herbivores. So they love the plants and trees and leaves and stuff like that. So what we give them here, though, is fruits and veggies, as well as a rodent block and a biscuit diet. So this is kind of a special grain that we provide to them that provides a bunch of minerals and vitamins that the fruits and veggies don't have for them. Everybody's over here. That's good, though. And then the other question is, what are the shaved spots on them? So when these guys were born, they all looked exactly alike. But because we want to make sure that we're providing the proper care and really great animal welfare, we need to know who's who, so that if somebody's not nursing as much, we know that we need to maybe give them more medical attention if it's necessary. So the shaved spots actually came from us. We went through and we kind of shaved one spot here on Biscuit's left shoulder, and then one spot here on Bagel's left rear leg, just so that we could, or right area, sorry, just so that we can kind of better identify them, so that if somebody was kind of sitting off to the side and not feeling well, we knew who it was. Because as you can see, these guys do look very similar. Now that they're about a month old and they're starting to kind of develop their own personalities, it's a little bit easier to tell them apart just by personality-wise, but physical feature-wise, they all look exactly the same. So that's the reason for the shaved spots. Hello, hello. You want some scratches? So Biscuit's kind of our fearless, brave boy. He comes right over for scratches and food and snacks. And like I said earlier too, these guys are siblings, and just like siblings, they'll share their food, or sometimes if it's a really good piece of tasty food, they don't want to share it, so we might see some tiffs and squabbles here and there, but that's okay. Sarah asked if we could repeat the names. So I can absolutely repeat their names. So in Hoofstock Department, we love our theme names, especially for large groups of animals. So these guys, we kept these guys all pastry themed named. So this one is sitting in front of Heather is Biscuit, and then we have Bagel. I believe this one is Strudel, and then in the back two, those are Croissant and Cannoli. Croissant and Cannoli are a little bit more stranger danger animals, so they don't come up too often, so I'm actually really proud of them for coming as close as they are today. This is really awesome to have all 5 of them hanging out with all of us, because we have a few people here in the yard with them. And just remember, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to write those down on the comment section below, and we'll get to those as we can. Oh, yeah. So one of the questions was who is behind us. So the way that the Pantanal mixed species yard is designed is it's kind of split into 2 separate yards. We have our smaller yard that we kind of keep as sort of our little nursery for all of the babies that we have in this exhibit, and then we have the bigger side of the yard, and that's where all the adult animals can go. So we have like tapirs, the Baird's tapirs over there. Currently, the guys who are over there right now are Southern Crested Screamers, Boba and Chucky. they're over here just hoping that we can give them some food, which we'll do that right afterwards. But yeah, so eventually once these guys are big enough, it might be another month or two before we actually put them in the big side of the yard, and we'll get them introduced to all the other animals, including the tapirs and the anteaters. But for now, we want to make sure that everybody is comfortable and kind of understands how to swim in the pool and doesn't just leave mom, because five pups is a lot. And so the very first day that we came out, it was just kind of a lot for her to kind of keep track of everybody. So we want to make sure that everybody knows to stay close to mom in a new environment. So we're working on that. And so we just got a question of when will they be fully grown and do they run fast? So these guys, it'll take them about 1.5 to 2 years to actually be fully grown. By that time, they'll be reaching anywhere between 80 to 100 pounds. Currently, they're only about 8 to 10 pounds a piece. And then as far as do they run fast, they can run fast. I believe they can run up to like 20 miles per hour, but they're much faster in the water. So in the water, they can, I don't know that we've ever actually clocked their speeds in the water, but when you see it, they definitely look very graceful when they swim underwater. Hello, hello. And scratches. And, ooh, that's okay. We've got like a whole mob of capybaras here. That's okay. This is my favorite part of this job, is just hanging out with these guys. And so, like I said, these guys are very social. So we do have 5 pups, and then we also have Mom Poppy in the back there. And then we have Dad Rio over off to the side. For now, we're just going to keep these guys just as the 7 together. We don't have any plans on introducing any other capybaras to them. But it's fine. These, honestly, 7 is a very large group of capybaras. There's another question of, do they do animal art? So these guys, we haven't gotten these guys to do any paintings just yet. Our other group of capybaras, the Encanto family of capybaras, they do animal art. They will walk across a canvas and leave their little paw prints behind them. So when the time comes, I'm hoping that we can work with these guys and get them to do something similar, because their little paw prints would be adorable. May I have that? Thank you. And so, like I said, training is very important for these guys, so just him letting me do that is super awesome. Eventually, what we'll end up doing is we'll try and get them trained for more voluntary medical procedures, so that we can have the vets come out and just do like a little physical exam on them and make sure that everybody is okay and healthy. Because here we don't, even though these guys are super cute and pretty much any behavior we ask them to do is very cute, we don't train just for cute behaviors. It's all for voluntary medical participation, which means that they participate in their own physical exams. And I believe that's about it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and visiting our capybara family. Please make sure to join us next Wednesday at 11 a.m. for our next Facebook Live.